Oh, whoa. I'm holding the camcorder in a very strange manner. But hey, 2022. Because new year, man. The new year, 2022.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Hopefully things are going well for you guys. As for me, Happy New Year, 2022, just around the corner. But hey, let's go and look back at 2021. Oh yeah, speaking of 2021, boy, was 2021 a train wreck, and I knew it! Nah, I'm not gonna say it just to rub it in, but hey, we could all come to an agreement that, for crying out loud, we swear that 2021 was trying to compete with 2020. Don't worry, you're not crazy. It is exactly what it is. What happened is that, yeah, it was exactly that. 2021 was trying to go toe-to-toe with 2020. 2021 was trying to be like, hold my beer. Boy, it just felt so familiar, as if it's like we've seen this behavior pattern that 2021's been trying to do. We've seen that behavior pattern repeated when it came to, like, Mr. 2016. Oh, yeah, Mr. 2017, Mr. 2018, Mr. 2019. Oh, man. However, what I also seem to notice is that people have been pretty much neglecting to go into the new year cautiously. And not only that, I've seen people go like, oh yeah, take that 2020, take that 2020, oh yeah, suck it 2020, can't wait for 2021, 2021's gonna be better, woohoo! And look what happened in 2021. And I've seen this pattern be repeated. 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And now, 2021. Look, I get being hopeful, wishful thinking, I get being optimistic, but however, don't get cocky. You just gotta remember to go into a new year as cautiously as we can be. Yeah, I know that doesn't seem cautious at all, but I had to improvise. However, the experiment I did was essentially this. Alright, what if I were to basically jump in and make the best of 2021 myself? And we can repeat that with 2022 and then 2023. You get the idea. However, if you want the best of the new year, you can go in and make it yourself. And if you go on in and do it and make it yourself, you'll end up pretty much making more of the best. And however, hey, even if the new year does go downhill like 2021 did, let's just say all the things you did to make the bright sides the best of 2022. Hey, there's bright sides from left and right. You made the best of 2022 yourself. And however, the more you make of it, the more likely it's gonna basically make probably 2022 a bit better. If not, you'll have like a very big bright side that will even slightly overshadow how worse 2022 is gonna be. So that totally said, pretty much go in, do some experimenting, figure some stuff out, and yeah. All you get, oh yeah, just check out your video game backlog, check out your backlogs, check out what news going on, and get some ideas, or actually, let's just say future-proof for like future situations, because reasons. Alright, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh wow, the best of 2022 ain't happening. Alright, I guess I'll make it happen myself. Yeah! And that's pretty much the closing statements as we, actually for this year, as we go into 2022. You think I'm gonna go and abruptly end the New Year special? Hell no! We got stuff. We got games of 2021. We got some retro re-releases in 2021. And then other activities that'll get us festive for 2022. So yeah, let's continue on with the New Year's celebration, shall we? 2021 was not a good year. Absolutely. But wait, hear me out. 2021 absolutely have the best of, and as a matter of fact, we have the best games of 2021. So let's take a look at the top 5 games of 2021. Number 5 is Wavebreak. Now, when it comes to Wavebreak, think of this game as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but except swap out the skateboarding for boating And yeah, you're basically doing cool tricks on a boat, and however, due to the storyline revolving around a bear who is a mobster, you can shoot at stuff too. So yes, it takes on a retro style aesthetic with a interesting 80s retro style soundtrack that the devs have made sure that is live streamer friendly from left and right. Even the new Weezer track that they managed to get a hold of. However, the game gets really fun as you start getting the hang of it and you're starting to do some really cool tricks on your boat and you're starting to get those things done on its campaign, or you're doing time attack and trying to score the highest, or you're playing on the Weezer map, whatever it is, you're having a good time with the great gameplay. You're having a good time with the good music. It has some great, wonderful design. It's a goofy, little, wonderful game that's fun and addicting as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And this one's definitely going to be right up your alley when it comes to Wavebreak. Definitely something you want to check out. Number 4 is Tanto Quarry. Now, Tanto Quarry is a series of deck-building card games where the goal here is to basically hire maids from left and right and have the highest scoring deck compared to other players to win. You have the Tanto Quarry, but you also have the standalone expansions for Tanto Quarry, like Romantic Vacation and Expanding the House, where you could pretty much mix and match amongst other things, especially alongside like the vanilla Tanto Quarry, something like that. However, the game series has been given a digital form, and that digital form is well made. It's basically kind of like gives you more of a breakdown of the game's rules. It kind of gives more simplicity, especially towards UI, and kind of simplifies things for you from left to right, so that it's really kind of like a good thing. It's going to definitely really help you out from left to right. And also the AI opponents can really put you on the edge from left to right. There's a campaign. Also, there's online multiplayer. But you could also do quick play where you could just have a game with you versus one CPU or two CPUs or three CPUs. Now, the digital format, the digital conversion of Tanto Quarry is great and brilliant. And if you haven't played like the card games IRL, the digital version is definitely something you really want to go with, or something you want to get started with. However, because of this game's digital version, I have pretty much been more able to get the hang of the game, alongside being able to play the game more with other bots, even though if I don't have anyone to play the game with. But however, I had more of a good time, and I managed to get more of the groove when it comes to this game, thanks to this digital conversion. So you pretty much do want to go ahead and get a hold of that digital version. Number 3 is Tormented Souls. Now, this game surprised the crap out of me. As a matter of fact, I started kind of like steering more towards Tormented Souls compared to the medium. Now, this is more of like a love letter to survival horror games. And however, it kind of familiarizes you with like Silent Hill, but with a mixture of Resident Evil. So, yes. It kind of blends both of those titles together, and it does a lot of trippy stuff. It does a whole lot of nods to other survival horror games, such as Resident Evil and Silent Hill games. And really, I ended up kind of like, I love the soundtrack, I love the characters, I love the monster designs, and boy oh boy, I love how eerie and crazy it gets. I love how I'm constantly on edge. I like how I'm having to think about how I use my ammo or resources. It's a very tricky game, I will totally say at that. However, when it comes to Tormented Souls, boy oh boy, I just ended up liking this game way more compared to the medium, and that's where Tormented Souls ends up being number 3 on the spot. The gameplay takes on like a retro-style traditionalist survival horror game with some fixed camera angles and doodads, but the puzzle solving is like, wow. It just gets you thinking outside of the box. So you have that in combination with the gameplay, and then you have the soundtrack and, of course, the design. And I just ended up, like I said, I ended up going to Tormented Souls way more compared to the Medium, which is why this game is number 3 on the games of 2021. Number 2, Samurai Warriors 5. If Dynasty Warriors 9 put a really bad taste in your mouth, then Samurai Warriors 5 is definitely going to be the most effective way of washing out that bad taste. Samurai Warriors 5 is more of a return of formula in terms of the Omega Force mainline Warriors games, like, say, Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors included. So you have that crazy, off-the-charts, wild, traditionalist hack-and-slash gameplay that's, like, back, and it's back to normal. However, there's been some, like, new approaches in terms of the storytelling, especially, and of course, the design-wise aspect, which is very intriguing, and both is very intriguing. But don't worry about the new approaches. You're still gonna get that traditionalist hack and slash that you know of, especially when it comes to playing games like Dynasty Warriors 8 or earlier, or any other Samurai Warriors games like Samurai Warriors 4-2 or vanilla Samurai Warriors 4 or 3. So yes, you do get that traditionalist gameplay style that we all know and love, alongside with some additional gameplay mechanics being added in that kind of add more spice to it. And there's another gameplay mode alongside the campaign. And yes, there is co-op in this one. I like the new perspective that Omega Force was going with when it came to Samurai Warriors 5, but however, that art direction when it came to this title, it's just amazing. My jaw dropped and I was like, wow, this is great. This is beautiful. This is it's a new but great looking art direction, and boy oh boy, amazing from left and right. I loved the new art direction. It's like playing Samurai Warriors 5, it really felt like to me it's if they have learned a lot when it came to working on their other games, like, say, Hyrule Warriors, ever since that incident that was Dynasty Warriors 9. It's just like going into Samurai Warriors 5, it felt like that they have learned a lot. And really, Samurai Warriors 5 is a great return to formula, and pretty much a great game of 2021. And the game of the year is Shin Megami Tensei 5. I have been waiting on this game for a long time. It came out, and boy oh boy, I had a blast. Now, a lot of people will go ahead and say how the music or the soundtrack for Shin Megami Tensei 5 is just, wow. The composer went like freaking all out. And yeah, it is what it is. The music is so gosh darn good. But however, if we are to talk about the gameplay, you have this big, giant, open world, beautifully designed. It looks beautiful, looks amazing. Even exclusive on the Switch, because this game's exclusive on the Switch. But let's get right on going and talk about the design of the game, because design-wise, holy shit, it's more ambitious than ever. And you have this big, giant, open world to access from left to right, and the demons are just, like, more life-size than ever. Especially, like, the bigger demons, like that giant rock demon that you had to sneak around earlier in the game, and then the Hydra that you ended up fighting, and then that other boss that managed to jump my ass. It is very interesting, to be honest with you here. But, however, the demon designs, they are still looking great than ever. And the music, like I said, man, did the composer went all out. So you have all this going down, and plus you have that challenging difficulty, because keep in mind, it's a Shin Megami Tensei game, and Shin Megami Tensei games tend to be really tough. But however, it's more rewarding at the end of the day. It just feels like a great, wonderful... ambitious installment to the Shin Megami Tensei series. And that totally said, if you haven't played SMT5, you definitely want to get your hands on that game. So, oh wow, I guess there were bright sides when it came to 2021, even though 2021 was a train wreck year. But anyway, that's gonna do it for our top 5 games of 2021. And let's hope for better things and things going better for games in 2022, shall we? There's always been that game where you wanted to, back in the day, you wanted to get a hold of that game and play it. However, years pass, you didn't get a chance to play it, or you've played it, you didn't play more of it, or you played it and you want to revisit it. However, whatever the reasons may be, yes, going the retro collecting route is a no-brainer if you want to do that, but however, going the retro gaming route and getting retro games, especially from your local retro game store, is pretty much tougher than ever, considering today's reasons. And however, we all know that not all consoles will have backwards compatibility, and not all games are forwards compatible with systems because reasons. Especially talking about the recent situation that's been going on with Xbox, how we got like this final batch of Xbox games that are now backwards compatible for Xbox Ones and Xbox Series consoles, because due to legal and technical reasons. However, there are people who decided, I'm going to go ahead, get a hold of the rights, get a hold of these games, and get them re-released in some way, in some form, for modern consoles, so that way people would get another chance to play that game. I would like to introduce to you the remasters. And when it comes to video game remasters from left to right, now there are some isolated incidents like the one that happened with the GTA PS2 Xbox trilogy. But hold on. However, I do want to go ahead and say retro re-releases rather than remasters. And yes, games do get remastered, but alongside, there's always going to be some lineup known as Hamster's Arcade Archives that would love to get a hold of the game and would get a hold of the ROMs legally, get the emulation set up and running, and then release it out onto PlayStation, Nintendo eShop, Xbox, and like say you have the Arcade Archives by Hamster, especially the Neo Geo. Either remastered or re-released in a modern console lineup, or even brought into a compilation disc or put on a retro console. These retro re-releases can be pretty much a big deal, especially if we're talking about games. But however, since we're talking about games in which it's 2021 retro re-release is of kind of like a big deal and play a significant role, we're definitely going to be focusing on the retro re-releases that needed to happen due to that game's significance and, of course, its reputation and cult following, especially. You get the idea. Right off the bat, we're going to be talking about the Castlevania GBA Trilogy. That means Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow, being released all together under the Castlevania Advance Collection, with the bonus game being the SNES version of Rondo of Blood. However, what's absolutely an extra mile for M2, which was basically handling the emulation and development of the Advance Collection, and basically, in a nutshell, have been responsible for bringing the GBA games over to this collection, they went the extra mile and decided to add in a replay system for when you want to do long plays from left and right. Okay. Especially for each of the games, especially the GBA games, but they added in a little thing that kind of reminds you what cards you have, what cards you don't have, or what stuff you collected, what stuff you didn't collected, which is kind of a very neat thing. I'm actually happy. To be kind of honest with you here, I think everybody would be happy with this kind of addition, because people would have memory problems, especially when it comes to, like, not playing the game for a while. That can happen. And yes, they added in a rewind mechanic for basically all 4 games. There's like the save states and load states. Yes, there's going to be a gallery mode, of course. Now, the other remaster I want to go ahead and talk about is G-Darius HD, which is basically supposed to be part of the second Cosmic Collection, but however, when it was being released on the West, it got released separately for some reason. G-Darius is pretty much a big deal because this is like the first time that Darius goes 3D and still maintains the 2D style. And while going the 2.5D route, they managed to do a lot of new things and then add in some new mechanic, or actually take the capture mechanic and revamp it heavily into something kind of like more like a simplistic thing, and then add in the fact that you could sacrifice your captured enemies into summoning out a hyper beam, which is absolutely a crazy thing. And of course, great music, great design choice, and I like how the HD graphics were handled very nicely. Ooh, yes, here's another thing. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. It's basically Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, but however, given like a heavy revamp by the Yakuza game studio in terms of graphics, and holy shit, the Yakuza studio just went to town, definitely. My gripe with this is it's missing that song that you get when you defeat Doral in Final Showdown. And yikes, I miss that song. And why did you skip out on that song? What happened here? But hey, it still holds up as a great re-release of a 5th installment of a very cult classic franchise by Sega, and a big deal amongst the fighting game community. Now, I know how people would like the sequel or the 3rd installment better, but however, let's talk about the Quake remaster by Night Dive. Yes, Quake 1 got that surprise remaster to celebrate the game series anniversary for Quake. However, if we're going to be talking about Quake 1, Quake 1's definitely a big deal because it was like a gigantic, huge, ambitious project by id Software. Like, it was so big, it was tough to get this game ported over to consoles. Like, it's insane. And if you look at the Nintendo 64 version of Quake, you'll definitely know, holy crap, this game was definitely demanding, and yeah, they had to cut corners on that N64 version, just as we saw. However, Quake also brought, like, online multiplayer into, like, a big deal, and that is just something you gotta think about from left to right. When Night Dive got a hold of Quake 1, not only did they brought, like, the campaigns, but they also just, like, got everybody, even Quake 1 owners who don't even have the expansions, also the expansions, and then they added in, like, a brand new expansion, and then they added in a Horde mode, courtesy of Machine Games, and then there's that other thing called Honey, which is like a separate campaign. But, however, speaking of add-ons, they added in the N64 version of Quake to it's free DLC, you just download it, activate it, and then go to town. And then just take a look at the N64 version of Quake. I'm not going to be able to cover every single 2021 remaster, but however, we'll go with this one more thing, and that one more thing is definitely Espaluta II. Espaluta II is pretty much a big damn deal because not only is it a cave game, but Espaluta II is a game that was just ported onto iOS and Android, and that's just it. It just remained on the iOS store. Otherwise, you would have to import your region-free Xbox 360 copy of that game. But hey, it's now on console, on Switch, where you could play with a controller, and you're not having to get something from the iOS or Android store. So yeah, go ahead, check out the Nintendo eShop, download that from the eShop, play the game with the controller. Oh yes, and that eShop package also comes with the Black Label, which is very entirely different compared to its vanilla in terms of gameplay. And yes, there is an arranged soundtrack when it comes to Black Label. Oh yes, and I almost forgot. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Okay, the remaster is rough, could have been better, but hey, it's not bad, it's not worse. It's playable, it's enjoyable. And yes, it is a remaster of a PlayStation 2 cult classic RPG that is a big deal amongst the RPG community and amongst the community of Shin Megami Tensei. If you haven't played Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne when it released back on PlayStation 2, get a hold of it, because the HD version's there, it's out, it's playable, it's enjoyable, even though it could have been better in areas. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and close things off with a little quick closing statement. I had a feeling how 2021 was going to be the year of retro gaming, and I had a hunch, and I knew it was the case. Anyway, let's get right on going. to our New Year's festivities to close off the New Year's special. Anyway, let's get right on going with the New Year's festivities, and of course we can't set off fireworks IRL because, legal reasons. However, we also can't set off fireworks in a virtual world because we don't know what game allows you to do that. However, celebration by food. Celebration by food. Ooh, air frying wings. So I got here the air fryer. Alright, let's get this. Look at this air fryer. Oh, what the hell? Is that just me or... Oh, motherfucker. Alright, I got the wings already seasoned. And before something happens, I washed the air fryer tray. Alright. I washed it and then I greased it so that nothing sticks, and I seasoned the chicken. So let's get in there. Alright, 16 minutes, here we go. 16 minutes at... Come on. 16 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Got some cake and ice cream to bunch on while we're cooking the wings. I heard a beep meaning that it's done. Yep, it's done, and oh yeah, REP to that, it died on me. Oh man, look at that. Crunchy. Is it crunchy? Looks crunchy. I know it's not. We'll keep it going and, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and sample one wing. Got it as crispy as it is. I got it dipped into buffalo sauce. So let's go ahead and get that out there. And buffalo wing. Shut up. Buffalo wing. Perfect. Tender. Falling off the bone. You see, this is why you air fry your... Oh, for crying out loud. Anyway, Are you done? Are you done? This is the result of air frying your wings. What I'm going to have in my possession... Hold on. What I'm going to have in my possession is a chicken wing that is dipped in a sauce that is not buffalo. You can play the guessing game, but however, it's sweet, tangy, and well-known. Anyway. Did you know that all meals come with a drink? That's right, iced tea, a big old thing of iced tea. Oh, where do we go? Really good. Well, this year is concluding, and we're ready to get ready for the new year. So let's get right on going and anticipate the new year. All right. That's all I gotta say, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Oh yes, and Happy New Year.
This is nothing but a video product made by a fellow gamer man. Ayo!